Good afternoon, everybody. My presentation will be in French because I'm a Francophone, and there is the possibility for the lecturer to make the presentation in French. I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that the working language here is English, so I thought I should say hello in English. Even in Arabic, Assalamu alaikum wa akhi Masr wa tahanina. OK. Voilà. Je vais aborder un sujet que j'ai déjà abordé à une conférence précédente.
I'm going to go into a subject which I've already taken up at a previous conference.
De parler après Monsieur Askari qui a.
And I'm happy to talk after Mr. Askari, who mentioned the project, this project in his presentation. That is the Chad Lake Chad, which gave its name to the country Chad, but the lake is really, it touches several African countries. The Schiller Institute organized last February a conference on the theme with the BRICS for a win-win system. And I made an expose on the revitalization of Lake Chad from the Congo River Basin. I'm not going to go back into the detailed description of the project, but I would just like to recall some aspects of it, and especially what is at stake and what are the different controversies. These controversies are often an integral part of the great infrastructure projects. And to end, I'm going to make the link between that project and the theme of our conference, which is rebuilding the world in the BRICS era. So I will make a brief presentation of the project. If I can see the map. You see in the right, upper right, the map of Africa, and the little blue point is Lake Chad. And then what you see is going toward the Congo is how the waters could be derivated. And the part in yellow is more or less all of the countries which are touched by the project. It's about 1/4 of the total surface area of Africa.
Le lac Tchad a été dans le passé un des plus grands au monde.
In the past, Lake Chad was one of the biggest in the world. Its geographical basin was 2 million square kilometers, and its active area is only 4 million. It's used for fishing, but also for agriculture and for raising cattle, animals. And this permits about 30 million people to survive in 6 different countries. So you have Chad, Nigeria, Cameroon, Niger, and the countries of the drainage basin are Sudan and the Central African Republic, and it also reaches into Libya and Algeria. There's an agency that manages the project, which is called the Commission of the Lake Chad Basin. And the really specific thing about this lake is that it's just at the edge of the desert. So it's very important for a region where water is a crucial problem. The big problem is that the lake is disappearing. In 1963, it was 26 million square kilometers, and today it's less than 2,000, which means it's been divided by 13, and it's continuing. So it could disappear altogether. In the beginning of the 80s, an Italian engineer, Mr. Marcello Vicchi,
a lancé l'idée pour résoudre le problème
launched the idea of solving the disappearance of Lake Chad
chargé en eau,
and to refill it with water
faisant une déviation d'une
by
partie
by deviating part of the waters from the Congo River through a canal.
pas un projet absurde parce que
It's not an absurd project because the distance between the Congo River and Lake Chad are long,
très voisin dans la zone de séparation des eaux. Donc il suffit
but it's very close to the place where the waters change direction.
de faire un canal depuis le Congo jusqu'au Tchad, évidemment.
So it doesn't mean making a canal from the Congo to Chad.
Bon, son financement, évidemment, donc le projet a eu pour nom Transaqua,
The project was called Transaqua
latin italien.
for transportation of water, Transaqua.
Ça n'a pas beaucoup bougé parce que
And nothing has really moved since the early 80s because the countries involved could never afford the financing of it.
ne concernait pas
And the financing,
mais le financement de l'étude de pré-faisabilité du projet.
and there was only a pre-feasibility study that was done, which money was given for,
C'est pour ça
but it hasn't gone any farther than that. So
que Schiller, j'avais
So the February conference, which was hosted by the Schiller Institute, I proposed that since the Lake Chad could not be financed by classical means, that it would be sponsored by the BRICS. That was a proposal I made.
parler un peu, comme je l'avais dit, des objections et des
So today I'm going to talk a bit about the objections and what is at stake.
qui ont été faites
A lot of objections were raised, not only for Lake Chad, but for all kinds of projects of this type. There are specialists
de la réalité de
who
l'assèchement du lac Tchad.
doubt that the lake is actually drying up in spite of the very visible reality.
Le lac Tchad,
We've already seen in the past that Lake Chad in the past has almost disappeared and then it was restored kind of with natural means. And one of the explanations is that the human activity is responsible for the climate change, for global warming, and others say that there's no connection between the drying up of Lake Chad and climate change.
des périodes de
Now, it's true that there are cyclical periods where
l'ère quaternaire, la
the lakes
30 000 km², à peu près celle de la...
go down or rather grow up.
Mais c'était il y a 6 000 ans.
And there was a point like that, but it was 6,000 years ago. Now, geological times are very long time, so maybe in 6,000 years we'll again have a big Lake Chad.
Il y a une autre
But-
objection, c'est l'objection
That's very long term. And then there are environmental
cachée parce que
objections.
des gens pensent que les grands projets sur
So many people think that
essence mauvais.
the big projects are, by definition, bad.
C'est qu'il y a une part de réalité parce que l'augmentation
And there's a certain part of truth in that because
ça va poser beaucoup de problèmes pour le riverain, des problèmes d'inondation.
because there will be problems. It will create problems of flooding, of the good balance of the ecosystems which are involved. There are political problems about who owns the land and the water and so on and so forth. And the third objection is economic, because it's said that the project will be very expensive and will not be profitable.
Pour la plupart de ces grands projets aussi.
Now, this is commonly heard with any large projects.
Je ne sais pas combien ça coûtait.
But this objection was raised even before we knew how much it would cost, and nonetheless people were saying, "Oh, it will be too expensive," without even knowing. Because in the 1970s we had the white elephants, so-called white elephants, so prestigious products, but which were not profitable.
Des éléphants verts, en quelque sorte.
So they think that this will be the same kind of thing. And this time we say, no, we don't want white elephants, we want green elements.
C'est celle de la gouvernance.
And then you have the question of governance. Do the states have the ability to manage such gigantic projects. And there are obstacles, but they can be overcome by measures through financing and through creating the means. Now, the system of aid, which we've had until now, is not sufficient for such a project. And with the financial crisis in the donor countries, you can hardly see where the money will come from there. But Professor Vicky found that the conflicts in Africa cost about 20 million per year in Africa. And the Lake Chad project, he estimated, would cost about 2 billion. So the BRICS would not be just helping people, but rebuilding the whole environment. Thank you very much.